During my conversations with Ed Begley Jr. about green issues, of course, the subject of cost came up, and this is what he had to say about your money. Now, let's talk about people's habits. They're very hard to change. Saving money on our bills is one thing, but, people really need more than that as an incentive, don't you think, to go green?
They do. As many state, local, federal incentives as we can have, the better, the more information we can get out there. And I'm fairly patient with people. Why? Because even though I started in 1970, there's still some things that's taken me a long time to do. I just got around to putting up power strips to save energy on phantom power a year and a half ago. I had a different system called Green Switch that worked in the house, but I have this room above the garage where my office is, and it took me a certain amount of time to do that for all these important, office equipment pieces. And the savings were incredible. It wasn't a trivial thing. When I did that, I could see savings on my very small electric bill quickly.
What's Ed's top tips for the green consumer on how to go green?
I come back to this recommendation. I'm not asking people to do things any different than I did in 1970 when I was a broke and struggling actor and I had very little money. A lot of people have very few resources financially at this point. Do the cheap and easy stuff. Put up some energy efficient light bulbs. Get an energy saving thermostat and program it. You got to program it too for wake and sleep, leave and return modes. Can't just put it up. Get some weather stripping and put it up. Ride a bike when weather and fitness permit. Take public transportation if it's available near you. All those things I just mentioned are very, very cheap. Home gardening, home composting, if you have a little piece of dirt in your front or backyard. If you don't get part of a community garden. Everything. Cheap, cheap, cheap. Do that stuff. You will save money. You get a taste for it. And then you move on to the next level, the medium ticket items. You might be able to afford a solar oven or a rain barrel to collect some rainwater and other things and move up the ladder. One day, God willing, you might be as lucky as me and you'll be able to afford solar and wind. It took me 20 years, 2 decades to be able to do that, Brian. And so I don't want to rush anybody who doesn't have the resources to do the big ticket items. Do the small stuff now, though. You're going to see savings, be good for the environment and good for your pocketbook.